Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and this is a fantastic idea I'm having a look at today. Not just one puzzle, 6 by 6, but 6 of them. I'll explain the genesis and also the, oh you can't see it at the moment, but I'll talk to you about the set of puzzles I'm doing today in a moment. And I'm going to commit to them, even if this becomes a long video. I have no idea what we're going to meet along the way here. This has just come out on Logic Master Germany. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Stop talking, Mark. Tell them about the incredible stuff coming up on Patreon. So we've got a new hunt on the 1st of August, based on the labours of Rostam. If you don't know about that, you'll know a bit more about it in the end. Do check out our Patreon, where last month we had the regeneration hunt. We've got others in the pipeline. We're really excited to bring you these hunts on the 1st of each month. And the winners, drawn at random, get to collaborate with Simon on a solve if they choose to. And that's fantastic. We've had some great videos emerge that way, and I mean it's just entertainment all the way, frankly, the hunts. Anyway, there's also crosswords and connections videos on Patreon. We've got all of our apps which feature line Sudoku, lots of puzzle sequences in those as well. And of course the worms are basically sequences of puzzles too, so do check those out on the CTC app. Fog of War is the latest actual physical all-themed app, as it were. Now, there's also SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD linked under the video. Now, what am I going to do about the links to the puzzles in today's... Normally, under the video, I write... We put up the links to the puzzles we're playing and all the rules. Now, if I did that today, I'm doing 6 different puzzles. That's going to consume an awful lot of text, and there might not be room to tell you about Patreon and stuff. So maybe I will just put up the links so you can click on them. Maybe you don't want to play all 6. Maybe you'll just play the first one. It's entirely up to you if you regularly play our puzzles. But I think this is just going to be fascinating. So let me talk to you about the genesis of the puzzles, which is summed up in one single paragraph that GDC, the puzzle author, and a fantastic one, wrote on Logic Masters Germany. He said, this week's setting challenge by Marty Sears was about creating a puzzle hunt with a theme. Didn't know that. I decided to create miniature versions of some Zodiac puzzles. The descriptions below show the name of the original author of the 9x9 versions. Thanks to the original authors and the CTC fan Discord for testing my rip-offs. Hope you enjoy it. Well, I'm sure they're not rip-offs. I'm sure they're tributes or homages to the original puzzles. What I'm very impressed... Oh, I see. Okay, I was going to say that when I've called up this puzzle, it says Zodiac Recap Orion's Belt by Viking Prime. But of course, it's by this one, this 6x6 version is by GDC. We're crediting Viking Prime with the original Orion's Belt puzzle. But I noticed finally a question mark, so it's not actually Viking Prime. All of these puzzles are by GDC. His name will barely appear on the screen at all. Maybe not. And they're all 6x6 puzzles. There's 6 of them. I will very rarely, I imagine, have done the original puzzle, but it might happen. And it probably won't make any difference. But it's basically just a hunt. It's a succession. I've really enjoyed occasionally in the past doing a series of puzzles in a video, and I hope this one works out. There is a chance that, e.g., one of the puzzles will turn out to be really difficult and will really lengthen the video. And I mean, that can happen in any given puzzle that we do, but its chance is multiplied almost 6-fold in this. Anyway, let's stop waffling. Let's get on with read. So each time I will read the rules of the puzzle as I begin it, and then then we'll just see if we can have fun with this. So what I'm going to do, sorry, did I say what I was going to do in the description video? I'm just going to put up the links to each puzzle. Maybe a kind of very brief what they contain in them. So 6x6, Disjoint and Kropki in this. And then just leave it at that. Anyway, Right, let's begin with Zodiac Recap, Orion's Belt by Viking Prime. Normal 6x6 rules, Sudoku rules apply. So that's putting 1 to 6 in every row, column and box. We'll see if they apply in every puzzle. The disjoint rule here is that every star contains a different digit. The Kropki rule is that digits separated by a black dot are in a 1 to 2 ratio, digits separated by a white dot are consecutive. Okay, that's all we need to know. Let's get cracking. Okay, we've got to use the disjoint rule somehow, because otherwise there's no way to start. Yes, these two stars are different because that's part of the disjoint rule. And that means this little L shape is a sequence of 3 digits. Now we're only using the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's only one 3-cell sequence of doublers within that is possible. And that means this sequence goes 1, 2, 4. So we can put a 2 in the middle and a 1, 4 in the stars. And we've found the disjoint stars that are 1 and 4. The others that we have to find are 2, 3, 5, and 6. These 2 cells are going to be in this group of 3. Ah, right. Oh, well, this is beautiful already. I mean, that's quite an interesting deduction on its own. But now we do a different thing. Now we use the fact that a bit of geometry and the disjoint rule. This digit has to appear in this box, and it can't appear in the star because of the disjoint rule, and it can't appear in that row because of Sudoku. So this digit appears on the black dot, the other black dot in the puzzle. What does it appear with? Clearly with 2, because whether it's 1 or 4, 2 is the only digit that it can go with on the black dot. That's going to give us a 2 in one of these positions. Is it going to do much else? I mean, I'm certain that was the right next deduction. Yes, okay, that's beautiful. Now we use a third feature, if you see it my way, of the disjoint rule, which is that, so first of all we used kind of the rule to turn a pair of black dots into a sequence of 3 cells that they otherwise wouldn't be. Then we used the rule and some geometry. Now I'm going to use the rule and its exhaustiveness, the fact that it limits what can happen. And that is because we have to find a star to put a 2 on. And it's not this one and this one, which contain 1 and 4. This 2 sees that one and that one. And this one can't be a 2 because we now know 2's in one of those cells. So this must be the 2. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, I think it is. It's like looking up into the night sky of stars, where I admit Orion's Belt is absolutely my touch point of what I ever look for in the Northern Hemisphere stars. Anyway, now we get a 2 down here. This is just Sudoku now. There's a 2 in one of those cells. Right, what next? Have we got any more brilliant discoveries to come? This digit must go on that white dot. Ah, yes, that's perfect. This is not, therefore, a 1, because what could you put that on the white dot with? Brilliant. Oh, that's lovely. That's a 4, that's a 1. The digit on the white dot is a 4. That one is a 3 or a 5 now, because remember, these 3 must go in those cells. So we've had 1, 2, 4 on the stars. The other ones are 3, 5, and 6 in some order. Okay, where does 1 go in this box? It doesn't go on the white dot. It goes up here. What does go on the white dot, which is either a 3, 4, 5 sequence or a 4, 5, 6 sequence? Well, 4 and 5 definitely go on the white dots. And that digit can't be a 5 anymore. 2, 4, 5, 1. That star or the digit in that star is going in one of these cells. So they are selected from 1, 3, and 6. This middle one, this sequence either goes 3, 4, 5 or 4, 5, 6. So the middle one is a 4 or a 5. Oh, that digit has become a 1, and that's the cell that goes, that's the digit that goes here. Then we can place 1 in box 6 and in box 2. And now 4 is down here. 1, 2, 1, 2. There's a 1 in one of these cells along with 2, and that decides what's on the white dot. You can't put 1 on the white dot because by Sudoku 2 would be there and you'd have nothing to put on the white dot. So that's a 2, that's a 1. Now we can put 3 on the white dot. We can put the last 2 in the grid. We can put 1 into this column, that's the last 1 in the grid. This is a 5, 6 pair. This is a 3, 4 pair. Oh, I mean, I can't do that. I can take 3 out of it. I can do this because I've got 3 in its box. That's a 6. That's a 5. And the last star is a 3. And now we're just going to finish off. It's beautiful. I mean, that's a really lovely miniature, isn't it? It hasn't taken that long, but we're going to do the whole sequence of puzzles. And that's great. Oh, I do like this sort of thing. Right, 6. This group of cells is 3, 4, 5. So the middle one is 4, that's 3, that's 5. This has become 6 and 5. 3, let's do these, 5, 4, 6, 4. There we go, that's the first puzzle. Next up, Star Chart by Flinty. This was the first Zodiac puzzle which started the chain letter. Thanks VKP, that's Viking Prime, for sending so many setters on that disjoint journey. Brilliant. Okay, let's have a look at the second one. Right, Zodiac Recap, Star Chart by Flinty, but actually by GDC. Oh, right, Latin square. So there's no boxes. Place the digits 0 to 5 once each in every row and column. Okay, we don't have normal Sudoku rules for every puzzle, or normal 6x6 Sudoku rules. There's a disjoint rule again. Every circle contains a different digit. They look more like Saturn than Orion. For each line, the digits on its ends sum to the central digit, zipper lines. Okay. Right, let's get cracking on this one, see what we can learn. Okay, that is weird and baffling. Oh, I see. This is why it's 0 to 6. That's beautiful. One of these planets, one of these circles has to have a 0 on. I was actually worrying about 1 at first and going, how can you possibly have 1 on a planet? But of course, we're using 0 in the puzzle. 1's not so much a problem. 0's the big problem. 0 has to sit on a planet with 0 and 0 on its wings, on the wings of its line. And that's madness, but obviously that doesn't apply to a horizontal or vertical planet because you'd have zeros in the same row or column. But it's perfectly feasible on one of these diagonals. Now, the next thing after that, so zeros on one of those planets. I mean, let's pencil mark what I'm thinking and worry about what it means afterwards. The next thing, obviously, to worry about is the next lowest planet number, which is a 1. That is going to have 0 and 1 on its wings. So, if this was the 0 line, those 3 would be 0. None of these cells could be 0, and the 0 on the 0, 1 planet would be up in one of these two. If this is the 0 planet, then none of these cells can be zeros, and the 1 would have to be, the 0 on the 1 planet would have to be down here. And if this was the 0 planet, you couldn't put 0 in any of these cells, and the 0 on the 1 planet would have to be down here again. So one of these is the 1 planet. It obviously, again, can't be in any of those. Now, is the 2 planet really going to decide how this works? Because, annoyingly, the 2 planet can be flanked by 2 1s. I think we worked out that if one of these is a 0 planet, this is the 1 planet, and the other planet here couldn't have any zeros on. Oh, well, this wouldn't work. Right, if one of these was the 0 planet, I'll just show you what I'm thinking. I mean, don't call this a bifurcation, for goodness sake. But if one of these two was the 0 planet, you'd get zeros there. This would have to be the 1 planet, so you could put a 0 there. And then this couldn't be the 2 planet. Oh, let's do a quick side note. The 2 planet can't be in any of those places because it either needs another 2 on its wings or a pair of 1s. But, so this would be the 2 planet, but that's not going to work because you can neither make either of these cells 0 and you can't make that 1 1. And that will apply if we put 0 here and 2 there as well. So this is not the sequence that's working. The only way we can make it work is by having the 0 planet down here. So there are 3 zeros to seed us. Now, one of these is a 1 and the other one is a 2. And one of them has a 0 in one of these 2 cells. And a 1, so I'm talking about the 1 planet, has a 0 in one of those cells and a 1 in one of those. The other one, the 2 planet, I don't know. Can the 2 planet be a 1 1 planet? Yes, no, it can't. Because the other planet is going to be a 1. And that is going to be looking at the sort of southernmost zipper cell. So the 2 planet has a 0 on as well, and both of these cells are zeros now. And this is a 1 2 pair. And we don't know which one of these is 1 or 2, but we do know that they're a pair on the diagonal. Now, the last 0 in the puzzle can be written in the northeast corner of the galaxy. Do galaxies have northeast, west and south? No, probably not. Right, we've got all the zeros in the grid and we've started seeding the 1s and 2s. These digits are obviously 3, 4 and 5. Now, if I put 3 here, that's not going to work because this digit can't be 0, 1 or 2. It can't be any of the numbers below 3. And that's going to apply to this one as well because that digit can't be any of the numbers below 3. It's just extraordinary, this. So that's the 3. It can't be flanked with a 0, obviously, so it's flanked with a 1, 2. I am going to colour the 1s and 2s now, just because we're getting so many of them. They're the same on these diagonals, remember? Yellow, yellow. Okay, now, 4 or 5. Let's look at this one first. Okay, I've got a 4, 5 pair to put in this column, so this has to be lower than that. And there we go. 4, 5, 1. Why is that not going to work the same here? This must be a 4 now. Oh, because I can put 3 in this cell. Oh, I see. It was to do with the position of the 3 planet. Right. 3 there, 1 there. And we've got all the planets done, subject to unwinding the 1s and 2s. And frankly, the rest of the puzzle should be fairly easy. But it wasn't easy to get to this point. I mean, this is the magic of GDC. So brilliant. So brilliant. It would be very interesting, those of you who have somehow had the time, the skills and the energy to go through all of the puzzles that are being tributed, it would be lovely to know how accurate to the originals these are, or are they really GDC's own take? I kind of imagine with GDC, sorry, the rest of that just filled in by normal Sudoku rules. Let's get rid of the colours. That's fantastic. I imagine with GDC that these are very similar to the logics of the earlier puzzles. Oh, did I not get a tick on that? Have I messed up? No, that's fine. As a zipper lover, I was very excited when I solved this one. A simple setup where the disjoint carries a lot of the solves. We actually get learned commentary on the originals. Now, the only thing I was left wondering here was about the kind of graph look of the puzzle, the arrows on the axes and the fact that the lines continue. Does that mean that this is a continuation of something? I don't know. Maybe we'll see in the other puzzles. I mean, this one doesn't have those. This one looks like an old map. Fascinating. Okay, let's look at the rules. So we're looking now at Minefield Maneuvers by Samu Piano, but actually by GDC. The original Minefield Maneuvers must have been by Samu Piano. It was quite difficult. Right, normal 6x6 rules apply. So I don't need to tell you this, 1 to 6 in every row, column and box. Every circle contains a different digit, so the disjoint rule's still here. A digit on an arrow, and they all appear on the circles, contains the number of even digits in the indicated directions combined, excluding itself. Odd digits do not block vision. No, it's not KV. So, let's get cracking. Okay, the first thing I'm thinking is that 6 is going to be difficult to accommodate, but of course now I see that some of these circles have 2 dots, 2 arrows. Well, you still can't put 6 here because it's looking only at 4 cells. Here I don't think can be a 6 because it's looking at 5 cells. I know that a single arrow circle cannot be a 6 because it can only be pointing at a maximum of 5 cells. I think this is the only one that can be the 6. That is pointing at a lot of cells, so there's a lot of even digits potential there. 9 cells we're looking at. I wanted to move on to 5 next. Right, I can say this is not 5 because those can't all be even. This is where we're using a bit of Sudoku now because the other digits in a 5 row would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. That can't be 5 because it's only looking at 4 cells. That can't be 5 for the same reason. That can't be 5 because it's only looking at 4 cells. So that is the 5. Right, it's time to start colouring even and odd because that 5 is looking at 5 even cells and that's everything it's looking at. So these are all even. Now the 6, we can see it's picked up 2 evens. Okay, it's worked quite nicely looking for higher digits in the circles. So I'm going to move on to 4. And this can't be 4. Because there aren't 4 evens in any row or column in this puzzle. The same is true here. This one could be, and this one could be. What would happen if this was a 4? All of these cells, including itself, would be even. Is that a problem? Oh, I'll tell you what, we've got 3 evens in this column. Ah, there we go. That is the answer for me. I should have looked at a different question. That can't be 4 because itself 4 would be an even digit and we've just found that we need 3 odds in this column. So that's not the 4, this is the 4. That is looking now at even cells and we're getting a lot of digits coloured, a lot of cells coloured in this grid. Actually, I thought that was going to create more 3s in rows, columns or boxes, but I can't see any that it did. Oh, we know what this is. No, we don't. How can we have 2 of the same? Oh, because the digit itself has a parity. So I presume these can be 2 and 3. Is that right? One of these is going to be so if you were to put a 1 in one of these cells, it would be wrong because it would be looking at 2, 4 and 6 in its row or column. If you were to put a 3 in one of these cells, it would be right because it would be looking at 2, 4 and 6. If you were to put a 2 in one of them, it would again be right because you're only looking then at 4 and 6. So that's a 2, 3 pair. This digit is the circle with the 1 in, and that has already seen an even digit there. So the others are odd, and now we get some odds sketched into the puzzle. And now I just want to complete the colouring next, but oddly, I still think I haven't quite got enough information. Okay, I'm going to go to a secondary colouring phase of maybe green and yellow. I don't know which they are, but they're different from each other. So let's call that green. In box 1, that must be yellow because we need one of each. So in the row, that's yellow. This is a pair of each because we've had a 2-2 split. Maybe this isn't actually going to help. That's annoying. Oh, no, hang on. That's green. Ah, this is great. That is yellow because one of these is a 2 and one is a 3. They're different parities from each other. And now look at this column. We've got, if yellow was blue, we'd have 4 blues. So we've learnt that yellow is orange and green is blue. And that was useful. That was clever. I mean, it's a clever setup by, I was going to say by Semi-Piano, I mean by GDC. So we now know this number is the 2 because it's even. This number is the 3. And now we've got even more cells coloured. Surely we've got some 3s somewhere. And yet, weirdly, maybe we don't. But the 2 is pointing at 2 even digits, which are 6 and 4. And we can just fill those in. We might be able to do all the Sudoku, all the even digits. And we can't. That's not true. Can we do the odds? Oh, I know where 3 goes by Sudoku in box 6. Right, so they're all even, they're all odd, they're all even. Now we get some 3s, trios. Oh, I can't hit the right cell. There we go. One of each there, one of each there. This is known in its column as orange. This is known in its row as blue. Okay, it's going well now. That is a 2. That's a 6, that's a 4, that's a 2. Let's do the even puzzle first. Oh, I can't finish it. Oh, yes, I can. That's a 2. No, I can't finish it. Oh, that can't be 2. That's seeing 2 and 6. That's a 4. That's 2, 6, 4. That's a 2. Right, we need a 6 in both of those boxes, and we're not getting that resolved with what we've got. I filled in all the circles. How am I going to disambiguate 1s, 3s and 5s? It doesn't feel like this is possible. Right, let's just write in what we know. Oh, there's a 1-5 pair. Oh, that is a surprise. We get a 3 in the corner. I'll have a little party for that. 1-5 pair now in column 2. That's a 3. This must be a 3. Look at that. I didn't expect that to happen. These are going to be the 6s. That's going to be odd. And this is a 1-5 pair, and we know the order, and it does all work out absolutely beautifully. Lovely stuff. Just as we expect from GDC. 3 and a 1. There we go. The 9x9 version of this puzzle also had a whisper path and mines. Really neat if you like drawing lines and colours into the grid. I mean, this is interesting commentary. Okay, great. That is Minefield Manoeuvres. We can go on to the 4th of our 6 puzzles now, which is Original Sin by Nordy. By Nordy? But really by GDC. Right, normal 6x6 Sudoku rules apply. Every circle contains a different digit. This is a theme. A circle with a digit n is the start of a 1-cell wide orthogonal path containing n cells, so a path of that length. Paths don't touch themselves or each other orthogonally. Digits don't repeat on a path. And digits separated by an apple sum to 5. That's a surprising disambiguator. Okay, let's get cracking. Right, the apple then is separating 6 and 1. And that's really weird, because when I looked at this puzzle, I said, this is a 1. When I was reading the rules, I was going to put a 1 in here. Because I don't see, sorry, right. It was not a difference of 5 on the apple. I was right. I'm so sorry. I just misread the rule. When I misunderstood the rule. I read it out correctly, but I'm a monkey and I thought this was a difference of 5, but it's a sum of 5. Right, the reason when I was reading the rules I wanted to put a 1 in this circle was because, oh no, the bin men are here. I have to do my bins. They're so early. Okay, excuse me a minute. I'll be back in a second. I've got to go and do my bins. Right, sorry about that, but it will also slightly spare you from noise from the bin truck as well. Anyway, bins done. Does anybody else have a council that sends the bin men around at noon one week and 8:30 the next? Oh, it's so strange. Right, this is a 1, I believe, because you can't start a 2-cell path or any longer without coming up, touching another circle. So that's the 1. Now, that's probably the only, okay, the apple now, it's a sum of 5, so that's a 2 and a 3. So we know about trios in these rows. That means this circle is 4, 5, or 6. Now, that cannot start in those directions or that one because it would touch another circle. So the path from here, how shall we do the paths? Let's do them just with colours. The path from here goes that way. It's at least 4 now, so if it went south, it couldn't get any further. So it's got to go north, and then north again. Let's give that one a colour of grey. Okay, this one, I don't know with this one, that could start south or east. Oh, this one can't get more than 1 cell without stopping, so that's a 2. That's interesting. This is, I don't know what the number is there, don't know what the number is there. What about this one then? This is at least a 3 now, and it can't start in those directions. It's got to go up here and then here. So this one goes down and finishes there. This one is 3, it can't be more than 4. And it can't be for, yeah, that would be all right, except that it would make both the blue and pink 4s, and we can't have repeat 4s. So that has to be a 3. Now the other circles in the puzzle are 4, 5, and 6. This one can't be a 6 anymore. We've got 4 already. It could go to there or it could go to there, but it's going to stop. So that's not a 6. Now, one of these is a 6, and that's going to occupy a fair amount of real estate. This can't start there, and it can't go that way or it'll get stuck. So it goes this way. This one obviously goes south to start with. That's so intriguing. These are really going to ram into each other. They've got to have they've got to be at least a 4 and a 6 between them. They've got to take 10 cells. How in the name of all that is possible is that going to occur? Paths don't touch themselves or each other orthogonally. I can't. Oh, look, I can see one way to do it. I couldn't think that these could occupy 10 cells even between them, but if that is orange and that is green, then we've only touched diagonally. Is there anything else we could possibly do? If you went there, that couldn't move again because green would have to come through here. If you went there, you're definitely blocking off everything green could do to even form a 4. So that must be it. I've come up with it. Right. That is absolutely beautiful. So this is the 4. This is the 6. This must be a 5. And that has to continue. But I don't know into which cell. Maybe we don't need to know that. But that's brilliant. We still get to fill in all the circles. And apparently this is going to be enough Sudoku to do the puzzle, which doesn't feel right at this point either. Let's just see how that works. Was there a rule about the paths and what digits are on them? No. No, there wasn't. So I'm never going to know quite where that 5 was meant to finish. We could just choose one of those cells to put the pink cell in. But we are going to be apparently able to fill in the digits, which still feels a little strange to me from what we've learned. Oh, there was a rule, and I did read it out. Digits don't repeat on a path, so we are going to learn where the pink goes probably. Goodness gracious. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 path. It needs a 2 in one of those cells. It needs a 4 on it. That's got to go there. 3 in the top row is not in blue, so it's in one of those cells. And 3 in this column now is in one of those, in the green. Right, 5 can't be in pink there. Is that how we do? No, I don't know. There's a 4 in one of those. It still feels like there's no way enough information. Oh, we need a 5 in orange. That's got to be here. Then we need a 2 in orange. Then there'll be a 1, 3 left over. That 2 makes that a 1. Oh my goodness, it's wonderful. Just to experience this set of puzzles. They're brilliant. Literally, I am blown away. This is fantastic. Right, 1, 5, 4. We needed a 3 in one of those. I'm glad I did that work. That gets me a 3 here. It felt like work finding an X-wing in this sort of puzzle. That digit sees 1, 2, 3, 5. So we've got a 4, 6 pair and a 2, 5 pair remaining. I don't think we're finished because we're still going to have to work out why pink is disambiguated, I expect. I'm not certain about that, but I think we are. There's a 1 in one of those 2. Oh, across this bottom row, that's 2 or 6. That's 1 or 2. I'm really just looking at the Sudoku now. Okay, the 5 region, which can't have any repeats. Obvious, oh I see, look, all of those are ruled out as being 5s by Sudoku, and that is ruled out because it's pink, so that's a 5. And that's a 2, and that's 6, that's 2. This is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous all over again. Oh, it's just Sudoku now. 4, right, this is a 3, 6 pair. We get 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, proving its position. Right, I'm going to put a 2 there, and before I put a 1 here, let's work out where pink goes. It goes up to the 3 in the corner because it can't turn into another 2. Isn't that elegant? Very nice theming in this one. Apples and pretty snakes. The 9x9 also had gardens with some snake egg type logic. Fantastic. So now we're going on to Cluster of Galaxies by Dorlier, but actually by GDC. And I'm going to try and remember all the rules that I read out. Normal 6x6 Sudoku rules apply. Every icon contains a different digit. An icon with the digit n is part of a galaxy with n cells. A galaxy is an orthogonally connected group of cells that retains its shape when rotated 180 degrees. Galaxies don't touch each other orthogonally. Digits in a galaxy don't repeat and form a single consecutive run when sorted. Right. So they're Renban galaxies of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right. This, no galaxy touches another orthogonally. So this one can't move out. So that's a 1 again. And we'll make it grey, just as we did last time. So all the other galaxies expand in a direction without touching another galaxy. So that one starts going, hang on, galaxies don't touch each other orthogonally. Okay, I might have misunderstood, because I can't see how I can make this work at all. Because doesn't it need that cell? Oh no, they're part of a galaxy, they're not the center. It's just part of a galaxy, okay. I'm so used to doing galaxy puzzles where the centers get marked. Okay, I still think I can make that 1, because that can't expand. In fact, let's have a little dead space color of yellow where we cannot put a galaxy cell because it would touch another it would join two icons. So galaxies can't go into the yellow. So this green goes out that way. We'll give them all their own little starting color. Let's swap those around so dark blue doesn't get near light blue. Okay, that orange has to expand down that way. This is actually helping me see this a bit. Now then what? They all have a shape that can rotate 180 degrees and be the same. Oh goodness, how is this unique? This is mad. See, this could be a 4, couldn't it? Or a 2. Maybe that's all it can be. Oh, this can only be a 2. If that went that way, it would stop there. If it went that way, it would stop there. And these shapes are not rotatable, so that is a 2. Okay, so these go yellow. Everything else is now at least a 3. And this can't turn that way or it will never become a rotatable shape. And it can't be just 3 up here because it will be an L. So that must be a 4. I think this deduction is right. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is. I'm going to make that yellow as sort of dead space. This little baby, he's going to become, oh, he could be, we've still got 3 to go as well as 5 and 6. This one could just be a long, could be 5, could be 6, could be 3. It's going to be in a straight line. It's not going to go up to there or it won't be rotatable. Hang on, could that be part of orange? Yes, calm down, calm down. It couldn't because that would limit light blue, but I need to be a bit more careful. See, orange could look like that if 4 was still allowed. What shape is 5 going to be? It feels like it has to be, well no, it doesn't. I thought of that plus and went, oh, that's 5. Maybe that's the only form of 5 that is available. In which case it's not this one and it's not this one. It must be this one that would be the 5. But then this would, oh no, one of them would be a 6. Oh, this is, it can't be this. This can't go beyond that cell or it's going to touch the orange galaxy. So that's the 3. Oh. Now I'm getting a bit confused because this is going to have a shape that is rotatable. And whether it's 5 or 6, There is another 5 shape, isn't there? The old Z pentomino. I don't think this can be a 6. Like, even if you go up to here, you're never going to make it rotatable. I think this is going to have to be the 5. I hope I haven't missed any possibilities. I'm not the best at these spatial puzzles, so I might have. But if this is part of a 6, well, I can see 3 by 2 would work, and I imagine nothing else would. But let's fill in the numbers. Digits, oh, they're Renban galaxies, aren't they? Goodness me, they're Renban galaxies. This is gonna, okay, let's do some Sudoku and probably try and prove. I mean, I haven't really done the thinking about whether there are any other 6 shapes that are available, so I'm gonna leave that thinking. This digit has to be a 3 because it's in a Renban with that one. 1 in this box is up here, so this is gonna have to be a 1, 2, 3, 4 Renban. I'm going to put the 3 there and a 1, 2 pair there. I was going to say, what does this have to have? It can't have a 1. In fact, that's a 1 by Sudoku. Oh no, hang on, I've got a problem here. I've got 2 3s into the column. Does that mean I've totally messed up? This might take me back to the beginning. I knew I'd run into some huge problem. I thought by the Sudoku that 1 has to be in this Renban, and therefore it has to be 1, 2, 3, but it can't have a 3 in. Right, I've got something badly wrong, and it's probably by not thinking of a useful shape. So let's go back to near the beginning. So let's go back all the way. No, let's go back to here. Okay, we've got that. Now, I believe that is not a 180-degree rotatable shape. And I'm right. Oh, I hadn't even thought of that, but that's not either. So this has to be a 2. And it's completed, and indeed I could even put in the 3 on the Renban basis at this point. Now I said this then had to be a 4, and maybe that was just not thinking clearly. What rotatable shape could we create that is not a 4? This has to grow out, that's definite. And that is going to stop this getting past here. It can't join to there or onto there. And it's got to be at least 3. So, I mean, I feel this is right so far. That has to be the 3, and these are yellow. I mean, I don't see how that can be wrong. But it's going to give me this problem that if I make this into a 4 galaxy, I need to put 1 into it, but not 3. And that's a huge problem. Oh, look, here's the shape I didn't think of. Well, here's a shape I didn't think of. So let's try and be a little bit more rigorous now, Mark. Come on, you numpty. Okay, this is a reasonable order to do things in. This, by the way, it can't be 1, 2, or 3. It's got to keep expanding. I'm pretty sure that's going to have to be this Z pentomino. I mean, it can't go round to there. It can't be just that. Oh, it could be that at the moment. However, let's try and prove this can't be 5 or 6. Because now I've thought of that shape, and it doesn't have to be that. If we went to there, you could never create a rotation, I think. But I mean, I said this before and it was wrong before. Okay, that is right. This is a 4 like that. Sorry about the error earlier. And it's a 4 like that because this doesn't work for the reasons we found. You have to put 1 in it and you can't put 3 in it. That's incredible. Okay, lovely. Let's do a bit of Sudoku because this shape is going to have a 3 in it. If you have any 4-cell Renban in a 1 to 6 puzzle, it's got to have a 3 in it. So that 3 is there. Now I could put 1 and 2 in. Hang on, this one, I don't know. Okay, I can't do the rest. I'm going to have to do shaping. And this 5, I'm confident about now. We'll put orange there. This is part of a 6, and I don't think we're going to use that cell. So I think we can fill that in now. There we go. Let's get rid of all the yellow and just leave the galaxies in place, which are Renbans. So, oh, that's a 5, there we go. So, blue's already had a 6, so the 6 in box 2 is in one of those cells. This is going to have 2, 3, and 4 in its shape. This digit is a naked single. Sees 1, 6 in the row, 2, 3, 4 in the column. That is 1 or 6 at the top, and that's going to need this to be 2 or 5 to make the Renban work. That is a naked single 4, so that's a 6 to complete the box. This is a 1, 4 pair. These are 2 and 3. That digit is the other one not in blue up here. So these are from 6, 2 and 3. That one can't be a 3. We've got a triple here, 2, 3, 6. That 5 puts 1 and 4 here. 6 is not there and is now going into this shape, and therefore 1 is not going into this shape. If 6 is in a 5-cell Renban, 1 isn't, so that's not a 1. Now the 3 shape doesn't have 1 in it, and it must have 4 in it. Oh, that was Sudoku, would have done that digit. That's a 2, 5 pair. We've got a 2, 5 pair here. So that's a 1 or a 6. The 1, 6 pair is looking at this cell. This is absolute magic. Honestly, 2, 6 there must be matched by the law of leftovers by 2, 6 here, so that blue can complete. Now this, what did we work out? It's got a 6 in it. So these are 2, 3, 6, and that's a 5. That's a 2. That's a 3, that's a 6, no 3 in the corner this time, 2 there, 5, 2, 5, and that determines that this is 6, not 1. Oh, it's so elegant. Absolutely wonderful. Right, 4 there and a 5 to finish. What a brilliant cluster. Dahlia is known for minimalism and didn't disappoint with this one. Well, you've certainly paid homage to that. And spiral galaxies work wonderfully with the theme of the series, don't they? Zodiac. Right, and then we move on to the final one. Isolation by Justin Vitanza. Question mark no by GDC. Normal 6x6 Sudoku rules apply. Every circle contains a different digit. Draw an orthogonal path from the astronaut to the spaceship. Orthogonal, okay? The path visits all circles. Circled digits strictly increase along the path. Nabna. If 2 digits anywhere on the path are in the same box, they differ by 2 or more. This is a bit like the regeneration puzzle from Patreon with the one of those, and possibly the hardest, according to a slight majority of people, was a Nabna puzzle. Anyway, let's put on the pen tool, because this time I do want to draw lines. They're Nabna lines, so we'll make them yellow. And we have to go through the path goes through, oh, I didn't say let's get cracking, did I? We'll do that now. The path has to go through every circle. So that includes the row 1, column 1, 1, and therefore it must go orthogonally that way through that circle. Now, the first Nabna thing I'm going to point out is that you can never have 4 cells within a box on a Nabna line within that box, because you have to space your Nabna numbers. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 6, that's fine. But you can only have one from each pair. So 1 from 1 and 2, 1 from 3 and 4, 1 from 5 and 6. So 3 is the maximum length within a box. So I've got to exit this box now, down to there. I ought to be able to use that general principle somewhere else. Maybe the first thing I can do is put a 1 in this cell because we're visiting these circles in order. Okay, Nabna principles are going to say I can't go right here because then I'm going to have to use 4 cells in the box. So I must go down to that. And that's now box or number 2. One of these is 3 or 4, one is 5 or 6. That's not helpful yet. Now, we're not going to go we're not going to go into that and out of the box again before hitting this. If 2 digits anywhere on the path, well, we could in theory. In fact, actually, it's not utterly impossible to go into that cell, that one, and then up there. But I think that's not practical. We've used 3 cells in that box, so these other cells can't be on the path. We're obviously going to use 2 cells there, maximum 1 other. How could you use any other? You couldn't use it between the circle and the spaceship. Only if you came into the circle from below, came out, somehow worked your way around, but you're always going to use more than 3 cells in a box if you then come up this way to hit that. So that's nonsense. So this is going to be the end of the path. It's going to be going into the spaceship from there. It's going to be going into this, well, not necessarily into this box from there, although I think uniqueness would probably tell us that the path can't go to there, but I'm not going to fill that in. But I do know this is a 6 now. These ones are not on the path because the path has gone from there to there, and you couldn't get to these without creating too many cells in the box. Now we're only allowed to hit 3 cells in this box, and we've got to hit this one. So surely we've got to come in and go out like that. We've got an orthogonal path. Yes, it has to make the nearest exits and entrances. Okay. Well, that's good. Now we've got 3 cells in box 3, 3 cells in box 5. Let's blue out all the others that cannot be used on the path. Again, box 6, we're only allowed 3 cells, so it's the same issue. We have to get in and out of that corner as quickly as we can. And there we go. And I mean, I'm tempted. Yeah, the path has to go straight north now. Otherwise, no, that's still not true. It could do 3 cells in box 5 and then go up there. I think uniqueness is going to prevent that, but I'm sure something else will prevent it as we go along. Anyway, we can fill in the numbers in the boxes now. 3, 4, 5. And now we have to do some Nabna work. Right. The 2 is going to force the other 2 items to be 4 and 6. Okay, the 3 requires a 1 on the path and either 5 or 6. The 4 requires 6 on the path, which has to be there actually, and either 1 or 2. Now, Sudoku says 5 needs to be in this box, then that's a 1-3 pair. 5 is looking down at that cell, which is now the 1. 3 is looking up at that cell. There's a 2 in one of those, and it can't be on the Nabna in box 1. So the Nabna is 4, 5, or 6 in that column. 4, 5, 6. This is 1 or 3 by Sudoku. That's 2 or 3. Now, these are from 2, 4, 6. 1, 3. We need a 2 in box 4, 5, and that makes that a 1. That makes that a 3. Now we've got 3 and 5. We can't put an even digit on this path in this box because it would touch one of those odd digits. Therefore, the path does go straight northwards and we can blue out the rest of the puzzle. Now we've fulfilled NABNA rules in boxes, not quite in box 6, but in boxes not quite in box 3. What's that? Box 2. Box 2, I hear you say. We haven't quite finished that. We have done the NABNA here and here. Here we're going to be okay. Yeah, okay. It's only this spaceship and this cell that I need to really have any significant thoughts about. Oh, look, that's a 4, 6 pair in the column. So this is 5. Now this cell is 3, and that works fine for the NABNA. That's a 4 because it sees the 6. Right, I've got 1 and 5 here, and I can't put 5 in the spaceship or the NABNA would fail. That is brilliant. It is just brilliant. This whole thing is, the whole puzzle sequence is incredible. Absolutely incredible. I love it. And now we're finishing off with regular Sudoku. That's a 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the corner. That's the last one we're going to find. And there we go. We're going to put a 6 here and be done. And that is the most fantastic Sudoku hunt completed. Very neat idea by Justin Vitanza to use the disjoint as checkpoints. The 9x9 also has aliens hiding behind fog. With this puzzle, the Zodiac Recap is completed, and it is fantastic. Take a bow, GDC. The fact that you have credited everybody else just shows your incredible modesty, but the puzzles themselves show your incredible talent. I mean, the idea that they're actually all formed off other people's rules just shows how brilliant you are to be working under those sorts of constraints. Utterly wonderful. I mean, my various 6 hats also go off to the people who created the original puzzles like Justin. But GDC is the star of today's show, and I am a mere bit player who struts and frets his time upon the stage. But I have really enjoyed that time upon the stage, and it is such stuff as dreams are made on. We will see you again soon on the channel. Do come back tomorrow and watch more Sudoku. Bye for now.